Long before Mario Kart 7, you had the item in Mario Kart Double Dash called the Fireball, and what this thing did, it spewed out multiple balls of fire, either forward or backward, depending on what you choose. But the problem with this was, it was inaccurate. Most of the time, you'll see this thing, it'll go right in between the racer, and you're just staring at the screen being like, come on! It really is very inaccurate. But when it actually does manage to hit, it hits the person, makes them spin out, and they're just like, oh, my butt's on fire! Yeah, it can be a deadly item, but again, you have to compensate for the inaccuracy. Only in this Mario Kart, it was the special item that was the heart. Man, oh man, was this a sweet item, only used by Princess Peach and Princess Daisy. The only things this thing couldn't protect you from was Chain Chomp, Spiny Shells, Stars, and Thunderbolts. But any other item, you name it, it would be in your possession. If it made contact with you, if someone tried to hit you with a red shell, a bomb, a banana, you could just take the damage. You won't even take any damage. You'll take the item and put it in your reservoir. It is a pretty useful item. It can only take 2 hits, but still, I mean, all those red shells are avoided, and man oh man, you can cause havoc to a lot of other racers. It's pretty darn good. Once again, only in this Mario Kart you have yourselves the Yoshi Egg, and what this thing did. What this thing did, well, it wasn't anything special. No, but seriously, what it did was it acted as a red shell. If you threw it in front of you, it would lock on to the person in front of you and bash them in. What it would also do, if it doesn't find anybody, it just splits apart. Now, what happens when this egg smashes? Well, it gives you a battalion of items. What could it be? Well, it could either give you a star, a mushroom, but it could also be problematic and give you a bomb. It could give you shells. So it can either be a good thing for you or a bad thing for you. You just have to be careful. Lots of people think that the bullet bill is a one and only. Well, to that I say no. Before that came the Chain Chomp, and the Chain Chomp, wow, was this thing cool. I mean, this was the first time you saw something like this where it would take you from 8th place and bring you all the way up into 2nd or 3rd. You would just watch as this thing passed by you, and you're just like, oh, hi, please don't hit me. This thing could bash anyone across. The only problem with the Chain Chomp was after it was done, when it let itself free, you could be at the wrong end of that one because it could actually move you off the track. Yeah, you gotta be careful when it comes to the Chain Chomp, but otherwise, a spectacular item. Basically a veteran of items, yeah, if you could have one. This is the triple shells. It's been around for quite some time. You could either get triple red shells or triple green shells. Either way, this thing's pretty devastating. I mean, there's really no drawback to it. If you get the triple red shells, you could annoy that guy in the front. Through one red shell, then the next, and the next, and that guy in front is just like, where are these shells coming from? And then what you could also do with the green shells, this thing is really fun. If you use it behind you, you can really scare that guy in the back out of his mind being like, ah! Oh no, get away, get away! And then you could also scare the guy in front. Say if you bounce it off a bunch of walls, oh man, that guy's gonna be scared for his life. So either way, this thing is devastating. Another unique item only to this game, it is the giant banana, and this is only used by Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, and oh my goodness, is this thing annoying. This basically, I should just label this not even Big Banana, I should just label this the power of annoyance. If you put this thing on the track, it's so big it will just take up most of the track and you'll possibly run into it. But the worst thing about this is, if you do run into it, it splits into 3 other bananas, and that could still create some havoc. You could slip twice and fall from 1st to 3rd or 4th. Man, oh man, I just like to slap a derpy face on this or something because it's so annoying. How many times am I going to say this? This game had very unique items, and this was another one. And this, man, was this a destroyer of all destroyers. This big Bowser shell created havoc, created terror and fear across all the Mario Kart universe. Oh, wow. This thing, if you throw it in front and you see that cursor saying Bowser shell approaching, you are scared out of your mind. If you throw this thing back, oh, that guy in the back is just like, oh, because that thing looks so scary. It will just run you over, maul you over, destroy your items. I can't say much more about this. It's just a destroyer of all destroyers. Well, it's about time this thing got into a Mario Kart. I mean, it's been around for so long. You would think it would be in some Mario Kart, and it finally got the chance to Double Dash. And let's be honest here, bob-omb isn't that great, but if you do get caught in that explosion, there's no escaping it. It's much like a blue shell. If you happen to pass by it or you run into it, you are sent flying up into the air. It's a big explosion. Most of the time, it can be avoided, but those off chances where you happen to see that bomb car or just a bomb, be careful because this thing can stall you forever. Last but not least, it's definitely not a bad item for sure. It is kind of, again, one of the veterans of the Mario Kart series, and that is the Golden Mushroom. It is quite a good item. I mean, I can't say anything bad about it. The only thing I can say bad about it was bad in Mario Kart 64, but no longer here. If you have this item with Toad and Toadette, oh wow, you can just shortcut over the entire course, go over grass, go over sand, go over anything with this thing. I mean, it's pretty much a godsend for shortcutting. I mean, you can jump over gorges. There's nothing more to say. It's just such a darn good item. Use it to the maximum. Why is this video still continuing? Well, because of one more important thing you should know, and that's the ultimate weapon of them all. It's King Boo and Petey Piranha. Why do I consider an ultimate weapon? Well, hell, they could use any of the aforementioned items. I mean, seriously, any? At any point of time, beware of these two. In fact, they should be put on America's Most Wanted. They are so dangerous and lethal. You do not want to mess with these two.